I always have that longing na, what if my eldest is in the room? And it would have been nice if they're 5.
My greatest fear was that he outlives me. And my greatest fear is also that I outlive him. So parang it's a dead end, both right and left.
It's through counseling, healing, and all eh. Hindi mo kakayanin mag-isa. Kailangan mo talaga ng help.
These are all stewardship. Binigay sa atin, pagyamanin natin, palaguin natin. Hi, I'm Lani Robles.
I'm Michelle Yap Go.
I'm Michelle Fontelera.
I'm Feliz Lucas, and welcome to Modern Parenting's Couch Talk.
Today, these moms and I will share our stories about losing a child.
I'm Feliz Lucas. I am a mother of about to turn 5. And my firstborn back in 2016 passed away because of a very rare leukemia, which is JMML. And it's been 9 years, and grief has become a friend to me.
Hi, my name is Michelle Fontelera. I'm a mother of 2, one in heaven and one in earth. I am a businesswoman. So I'm happily married, and I lost my eldest son, Javi, who was a special child. He had severe cerebral palsy last November 17, 2021.
Hi, I'm Michelle Yap Go. I'm a homemaker. And I have 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 girl. So my eldest passed away last June 2022. He had congenital heart disease. So that's PDA with pulmonary hypertension, and he's also nonverbal.
Hi, I'm Lani Robles, mother of 3, Ish, Lorenzo, and Juliana. I lost Juliana last year, February 11, due to complications of dengue. She passed away of myocarditis.
How do I stay strong? I think you have to, because, there are 2 smaller kids who looks up to me. Even when my eldest was alive, I will not cry in front of him. I will cry behind him or while I'm in the church. I always feel that if I am strong, then they will take my lead.
How do I stay strong? I try to stay strong and sane. So it's really hard because dealing with grief on a daily basis is a struggle and it's a battle. So I just try to, but really, I'm not strong. I'm actually weak. And sometimes I show my weakness to the people closest to me, and it's okay. I don't have to be strong every day for everyone because I'm only human. Tao din ako.
Same thing, parang I realize being strong is allowing yourself to be vulnerable. So I remember there was a time that I was crying in my room, and then my son, who was just around 2.5, was saying, "Mommy, why are you crying?" And then I said, "Because I'm hurting and I really miss your sister." And because I showed my vulnerability, my son went out of the room, and then he came back with a tissue. And I think that was very monumental for me, na because I was able to be vulnerable, my son learned how to be compassionate. So, as a family, we learned to be strong together. But I realized being strong is allowing myself to tell people that I am not okay right now, and it's okay. Until the time came wherein slowly you realize, hey, parang I'm actually a plant that's getting watered slowly. I don't need to get the answers immediately, but I get there somewhere, somehow.
It's a process.
Someday.
Yes.
Someday. Process talaga siya.
Going home from the hospital with an empty wheelchair, without Juliana on it, was really difficult. Everybody was grieving. How am I able to manage to become strong? Well, we don't have any choice, mommies, to be strong. But I'm lucky enough to have a good support group who keeps on praying for us. And I guess it's okay to be vulnerable, especially at times that you cannot really fake it. Unlike before, we're supposed to be up at like 5 or 6. It's okay to stay up in bed up until like 10 a.m. and probably eat way beyond 1 p.m. Staying strong for me would mean being a friend to myself.
Yeah.
And accepting that this pain is really something you don't even wish, even for your enemies. Juliana was our first tragedy. And it's good that my boys, Ish and Lorenzo, they stood up for me and their father. It really matters a lot to me because I know everyone is really doing their best to cope and be each other's strength.
I think I am still in the process of handling losing my son. Because as a mother of a special needs child, like what I always say, my greatest fear was that he outlives me. And my greatest fear is also that I outlive him. So parang it's a dead end, both right and left. Parang both are my greatest fears. But then what happened was that I outlived him. And I'm really not prepared, and I don't know how I'm coping. All I can say that maybe it's by the grace of God. That's all. That's my only explanation for how I was able to cope, how I was able to control being sane, to control myself. I'm still sane. I think I'm still sane. The support of the people, my family, my youngest son, my husband, my mother, my sister, and my friends in this community. For me, that's the greatest source of strength and my coping mechanism. Because pag wala, this community, the bereaved parents community, I don't think I can handle it.
The other brother was also confined due to dengue. He went home alone because we stayed in the hospital with the sister. And I know for a time that he would just lock himself inside the room. And it was really very difficult for him. He became the crutches of Juliana. So now that she's gone, I know he's missing a lot. He's missing a lot. In fact, for the longest time, he finds joy in serving Juliana in particular. On the other hand, the other brother, he had to deal with regret. And with that regret, I need to process that and help him cope with that regret. It's more of like not spending so much time with her because he's also busy growing up. Now he's okay. I made sure that his needs are taken care of as well. When you have a child with special needs, I remember all the money, energy, time flowed to Juliana. But this time, I made sure that the two, even though they're adult, they know I'm there for them.
Siguro when people was asking me, telling people were telling me how strong I was, how courageous our family was. I was battling depression. Our story was so public. They had a comment to everything. Comment to how I did the funeral, comment with how they could have done things differently, comment that it would be replaced. There's a lot of comments. Even from a doctor. The doctor would even say, "Oh, you look different now," because I was trying to be cheerful. And so you get so lost na, am I supposed to look like I'm grieving? But if I'm grieving, people will tell me, you're supposed to be cheerful. You're supposed to be happy because she's in a better place.
Yes.
So you get stuck in between. And that's where I really struggled so much. That's what people didn't know or didn't see. It was also a time where we fought so much, me and my husband, to the point that we considered separating. And we did separate for a couple of months. Thankfully, by God's grace, He pursued me even if I kept on pushing Him away. I think that's the reason why I still talk about my grief, because there's a lot of people who are bereaved, who embrace the death of their loved one, but they struggle inside because of wrong support by the people around them.
Well, of course, we're praying when other kids are sick. Kasi, I don't want to have a part 2. Secondly, I did a lot of healing so that I can cope. Kasi in the healing, it came out that it's as if like a table has 4 legs. It's as if one of the legs was, broken, it's missing, So that's how hard it was. Like, what kind of mom am I without Grant? That's how I felt. There was a big hole in my heart. And people do not know this. I always appear to be strong and all, but deep inside, we all struggle. My kids look up to me, so I have to always appear strong. Because there are a lot of judgments from people. Parang, did you do something before when you were pregnant? That's why he's like that, Like, so many. I even questioned God many times. Diba?
Yeah.
may times talaga nagtampo talaga ako. But then, I realized He would send angels to guide us. So then my faith restored. I did IVF with the 3rd, and then I heard it that I'll give you a girl. So that's when I started, slowly to go back to Him. So I just always pray to God for strength and guidance kasi hindi ko kaya mag-isa.
Well, the square one, I think it's a cycle. You're okay for a few months, and then boom, it's like you were hit by a truck. Grief slaps you in the face. Hindi nga slaps, bubugbugin ka na naman ng grief. And then you're back to square one again. Sometimes it's denial, acceptance, and then go back to denial, go back to anger. It's a cycle. There's no level.
There's no stages.
Kasi it's a child It's not a cycle of life.
Yeah.
Oo. It's different if it's a child. That's why walang word, di ba?
When this happened and Michelle reached out to me, it helped me a lot Kasi iba yung in-person kausap ko siya, ay sis, napagdaanan ko yan. So parang mafe-feel mo, ay, normal lang pala magalit sa Diyos minsan, So I'm really grateful with Michelle because if she did not reach out to me, I wouldn't have known na normal lang pala lahat. And the support that she gave me was very helpful. So that's why we wanted to reach out to other grieving moms or dads. That, we can make something and comfort each other.
For me, parang grief doesn't have stages. You cannot run away from it. Sometimes a big wave will come to you, and sometimes it's calm. But all you have to do, parang like a surfer, you have to bend down and just go under the water. You have to purge through it. I always tell people, it's not a sickness that needs to be cured, that can be cured. It's an amputation.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a part of your body. It was cut off. So, if for example, for you, what's Javi's body part for you?
My hand.
Your hand.
For me, parang back ko, parang nawala.
Your back.
Juliana, probably heart and arms.
So it's the same thing. Parang, how can you tell a person who had a heart transplant, you need to be okay? It was a transplant, but that was your core heart. Your hand, you can't tell a person, oh, kaya mo yan. Just go ahead. But then, at the end, you realize, like what you guys were sharing, how important community is, na you can't do it alone.
When people say, you have to be okay, it's because they're not comfortable with the grief. They don't know how to deal with it. That's why they don't want you to talk about your grief. That's how I feel about it.
Yes.
I'm very lucky to have my best friend, and I know she'll be watching this. No? Tata is really like an angel. It so happened that when we were at the hospital, her son also got confined. So most of the time, she was at our room because her son needed to sleep. During the ordeal, she was really there for me up to the time when Juliana was intubated, up to when we had her wake. Lahat, damit, pagkain, flowers, she provided for us. These are the moments when you actually think you're very lucky because they want their presence to be felt during the time when it's too much to handle for us. And because of this, I've gained newfound friends. My friends to keep.
For me, it was my sister Cindy. My sister is very supportive. So from the time Grant was born until when he passed, she was the one I called to go to the ER. Cindy is the standout for me because she has been there for me ever since I was little. She took care of me because we're 9 years apart. And then when Grant passed away, she was the one who took care of the flowers, the death certificate, etc. So I could not have asked for a better sister than her.
The woman who stood by my side was my best friend, Sari. Because she took care of me all throughout the hospitalizations of Happy. She would always ensure that I was okay. For example, there was one time I was in the hospital for my birthday. The moment that we were discharged, she told me, oh, let's celebrate your birthday, let's have a staycation. Things like that she would do. So it's really so hard to deal with all of this without my best friend by my side, but she gives me signs. All of a sudden, people like she's close to, would call me, and then she dreamt of my best friend. You know, when I need her, she sends people. And even if she's not here anymore, I'm so glad and I am very grateful that I was given more than a decade to be called her friend.
Siguro for me, it would be my half-sister. Considering that she was a half-sister, I didn't expect that, she would make an effort to really be present. So the moment my daughter passed away, she immediately flew to Singapore, just helped us, just went with the funeral home, and then we flew back. So that was the only distance lang na she went through. And then when I had questions about God, she let me meet a person, a pastor, and said, Siko, I'm not angry that she died. I'm angry that I was reading in the Bible that parang there would be a replacement, hindi mangyayari. There would be a miracle. And then, the pastor said, do you love God for what He can do? Or do you love God for who He is? And then from there, dun ako medyo nag-process. I realized grief isn't just emotional. There's also physical manifestations that happen, sicknesses that happen. So she brought me to the doctors, let me go through the different tests to check until I get better. So my sister was actually just a gate where she brought me to different directions to find myself. She didn't give me the answers, but she helped me enough to rediscover who I am. So, yeah.
Well, I always tell my son, Javi, this is all I need to tell him, that I love him very much. And one day, we'll be together and just watch over us, especially his brother, especially my youngest son. I just love him very much, and I wish it were the other way around because I would give my life for him.
I always tell him that I love him very much. I miss him. And I hope before when I think of oh, sana normal ka, yung mga ganun. I said sorry so many times to him because it was a very difficult journey. Lalo na non-verbal. Pag non-verbal kasi parang, ano masakit? Masakit ba tiyan mo? Masakit ba ulo mo? Hindi ko talaga alam paano ko siya tutulungan. But then, now that, he's in a different dimension, I was tell him, be happy. Eat the food that you cannot eat while you were here.
Yes.
Run free. My husband always says that, run free. Whatever hindi niya nagawa dito sa earth, now he can do it. And I'm grateful in a way that he can do all those things. Mga hindi niya nagawa sa earth. Yun.
Juliana knows that we miss her dearly. And I want to thank her for the 20 years that we had each other, for the many times that I witnessed how strong person she was. And of course, I want to apologize for the many times that she had to witness, bickering among couple. And for the times that I must say I was impatient as well. I must admit, there were times, a lot of times that I get impatient, but I don't show her. But it doesn't mean I did not show her. She did not feel it. Juliana is such a perceptive person. I remember the time even I was crying in the other room. Alam niya. Ganun siya ka-perceptive. And I want to apologize for that because wala siyang choice. Unlike any other kid who can run away or go out of the house. But since her condition limited her to do so, andun lang siya. Makikinig. For her to be able to cope with the situation, wala naman siya magawa. And of course, I want to ask for her help to assist us in transitioning to the new life without her. Kasi you must remember, we were together in one room, papaliguan mo, lahat, no? If there's one thing I should thank the pandemic era, those were the times that I realized what truly matters is that Juliana is whole. She doesn't feel disabled at all. And she's happy, she's contented. These are the things that I really want to tell her. Anak, thank you for making me realize na it's the simplest things in life that makes her happy. The presence of her mom, her papa, and then her siblings. And this story, luckily a lot of people will hear this, that her passing, her death, should not be in vain. And I thank her for the many times that make me realize that what matters most is we have each other, we have our family.
I always visualize na when my kids are around in the room, I always have that longing na ini-imagine ko na what if my eldest is in the room? What would she have done? What would she have said? And it would have been nice if they're 5. The mind knows that they're gonna be 5, but my eyes only see 3. And that's the hard part to always merge together. But whenever I get that moment, I always ask myself, I wonder what she's doing right now. And if she's singing praise to God. If she's cheerful, if she's happy, if she is well and rested, then I want to do the same thing here. We're like in a different room, but we're in the same place. So, parang yun, that's my drive right now. Whenever I have questions or doubts, that just keeps me grounded to how I need to move forward.
Something that I want people to know, if they have friends or family members who lost a loved one, most especially a child, the most painful thing na we heard or I heard based on my experience is the phrase, binigay yan sa'yo kasi strong ka. Girl, I'm not strong. I'm so not strong. I am so weak. So I think it's better if you just be there for your friend or for your loved one.
Kasi Grant should, parang lagi sinasabi ng doctors, 4 to 5 years lang siya mabubuhay with that condition. But, sobrang bonus na nga. Doble,
Yes.
doble na nga ibinigay sa'yo. 11 years siya nawala eh. Parang, sino ba namang parent na magugustuhan mo marinig yun, di ba? Siyempre, you would want your child to be with us. But I really understand that they're just trying to comfort me. But yun nga yung
They meant well.
So yun na lang ang iniisip ko na underlying.
People want to be a savior, want to be the messiah of the person who's going through grief. I just want to tell the people right now that you don't need to give the answers to a person who's grieving. We don't want the answers from you. We want to rediscover it ourselves. It's comforting if you ask us to talk about our child. For me, we like it that you ask, what's our favorite memory? You can ask us about our child, and we would love to tell stories about them, because the more that we share about them, that more it makes us feel that they were not just a story, that they were really alive, that they were really a part of us.
For those who have lost their kids, this is what I always say, one day at a time. It's really one day at a time. You get to live a day without them, okay, so next day, try again. It's really one day at a time.
It's through counseling, healing, and all eh. Hindi mo kakayanin mag-isa, hindi mo kakayanin na magdadasal ka lang. Kailangan mo talaga ng help.
If there's one thing that this grief taught me, it brought me to Jesus much closer. Wala ako ibang pangahawakan eh. Early on the interview kanina, I just realized that these are all stewardship. Binigay sa atin, pagyamanin natin, palaguin natin, pagpasalamatan natin.
There's no words. It's just really that you're not alone. And you don't have to be alone. Losing your child doesn't mean that you can stop loving, but you can still continue to love. So for those who have lost a loved one, what I want to tell you is that you can love again. You can continue to love more. I'm Feliz Lucas.
I'm Michelle Fontelera.
I'm Michelle Yap Go.
Lani Robles.
Thank you for watching.